Hi guys, I'm Mary, I'm 22 and I'm sitting in my little tack shop Punk Ponies. This is a video about how and why I decided to start my own tack shop and the process of the past 3.5 years of getting it from an idea through to a physical tack store. I want to be clear before I start this video that I'm not the most successful person out there, and there are a lot of people who have built their businesses up much bigger and much more successfully in a much shorter amount of time than I have. So if you want business advice, probably go ask those guys, but I'm happy to answer questions in the comments below anyway. Just bear in mind that, you know, I'm possibly not the best person to ask about this kind of thing. I first came up with the idea for Punk Ponies when I was 18. I kept finding pictures on the internet of really cool, colourful horse tack and different styles of riding equipment, and I couldn't find anything that was affordable. I couldn't find anything that was located in New Zealand or that would ship to New Zealand for an affordable price. Most businesses just don't ship to New Zealand at all because it's too expensive, so they don't want the hassle. I was studying a Bachelor of Arts at university at the time, and part of a Bachelor of Arts is doing lots and lots of research. You do a lot of reading and a lot of researching things. So that's what I really enjoy doing, and so I spent a lot of time researching manufacturers who could make the kinds of cool and colourful horse tack that I wanted. But I never actually contacted any of them. I was far too scared to start my own business. It's something that takes a lot of time and a lot of money, and I knew nothing about businesses. I knew nothing about how to start a business or how to run one. I was just a uni student. About a year later, I finally told my parents about this idea that I'd been toying around with, and they told me to go for it. Not so much because they actually thought that I would be successful, but more based on the theory that, what have you got to lose? You're young, you're broke, you've got no savings, you've got no dependents, you've got no mortgage. This is the best possible time in your life to make a really terrible financial decision. And so I went ahead and I invested my entire savings into coloured stirrups. Actually, not even just coloured stirrups. I specifically wanted patterned stirrups because they were really cool, really unique, and you couldn't find anything like this in New Zealand at the time, or I couldn't anyway. With my many hours of research, I could not find patterned stirrups anywhere. A few months later, my stirrups arrived and I was really excited. I started up an Instagram account and a Facebook page for my business, and I think I got about 50 followers on Instagram overnight. And I thought, wow, this is great, you know, I'll start selling things, everyone's really excited, they really like the stirrups, and that was about it. That was about all that happened for a very long time. I gained some more followers on Instagram and on Facebook very slowly, and I did sell a few pairs of stirrups here and there, but it certainly wasn't a big success. A few months later, I heard about a market day, which was about an hour and a half away from where I was living at the time. So I convinced a friend to drive me down there, and we set up a stall and we tried to sell the stirrups and the small amount of other products that I had on hand at the time. And it was pretty much a complete disaster. People really liked the stirrups, they just didn't want to buy them. So I actually made 0 sales that day. I did not sell a single pair of stirrups in my entire first market. So I ended up driving home, having spent a lot of money on going down there on petrol and on the market fee, and then stood there all day and had absolutely nothing to show for it. There's a lot of reasons why I didn't sell anything that day, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. I chose to try and stay positive after that market. I focused on the fact that I got really good feedback, that people really loved the stirrups, and I knew that they eventually would sell, and I kept telling myself that over the next few months as they continued to mostly not sell. I think I was selling about a pair a month. Like that was about it. I would make 1 sale a month, possibly less. There were probably months where I didn't sell anything. I was also now completely broke. I hadn't thought about the fact that when you start a business, you don't just need money for products, you also need money for other things like an e-commerce website. I couldn't afford to run one of those. I couldn't afford to buy a logo, so even though I had the name Punk Ponies, I couldn't really do anything with it. I didn't have a logo or branding, and I definitely couldn't afford to do any advertising. I couldn't send out sponsored products or anything. I didn't even have the money to pay the postage fees. I ran a Christmas sale that year and I sold 20 pairs of stirrups overnight, which was insane. So with the money from that, I was able to bring in more products and actually get the business going a bit more. There was also the fact that I now had 20 pairs of stirrups around the country, that people were seeing their friends riding in these and asking where they'd gotten them from. So word of mouth was starting to spread, and Punk Ponies started making more than one sale a month, although sometimes that was still 2 sales a month. I spent most of 2016 going to markets, various different types of markets. I went to ODEs, I went to farmers markets, as well as dedicated equestrian markets. I also went to a lot of AMP shows, and I had a trade stall at all of these events. Most of the time I didn't actually make a profit at them, but it was all about getting the word out there, getting people familiar with the brand name and familiar with the people behind Punk Ponies. I was also still studying at that point, and it was my final year of uni. It was pretty tough balancing business in uni. There were times where I would skip lectures to talk to customers to try and get a sale, and sometimes that backfired on me and I would miss like a 3-hour lecture and not sell anything. So by the time I finished uni, I was pretty deep down the rabbit hole of business ownership, and I was really enjoying running a tack shop. Even though it was an online tack shop at that point and it was pretty small. I finished uni in February of 2017, and I decided to spend the year expanding Punk Ponies and really seeing how big I could get this business to be. I also went to Equidays for the first time that year, which was a huge goal of mine. As a kid, I had always wanted to go to Hawaii. I didn't even know about Equidays, and I'd never been able to because my family isn't horsey, so flying to the North Island to visit a giant horse show was just not something that appealed to them. So the first time I went to a major equestrian event in New Zealand was actually with a trade stall. I saw very little of Equidays itself, but I met lots and lots of people and I had so much fun selling things, and so we're going back this year and I'm really excited about it. Equidays was pretty insane. We had so many people in the stall at some points that I had to actually leave the stall so that we could fit more people in. Around the time that I graduated from uni, I was actually looking for a tack shop to buy. I had this idea of merging Punk Ponies with a traditional tack shop to create something really new and really special. I did find a tack shop that I really liked, and I came quite close to putting an offer in on it. I pulled out at the last minute. There were a couple of issues and things that I wasn't completely comfortable with. One was just that it would have meant living in a city that I didn't want to live in, and eventually I decided it just wasn't going to be the right fit for me. I was pretty upset afterwards though, because I'd really set my heart on this. I really thought I was going to buy this tack shop and I was going to have a job all set up for when I graduated uni, and I was so excited about it. So I got pretty upset for a few months where I sort of thought, oh, what am I doing with my life? I couldn't find another tack shop that I liked to purchase, and then one day I just woke up and I thought, to hell with it, I will start my own tack shop. So I started manufacturing products which everyday riders use, and not just people that are into colourful, funky stuff. So I expanded our product range to contain more traditional products such as bridles and plain black and silver stirrups. But at the same time I kept introducing fun, colourful products that I really like and that most of our customers are here for. I expanded the business a huge amount in 2017. And at the start of 2018 we started outfitting my double garage and setting it up with full insulation and carpeting and proper lighting so that we could turn it into a little shop. So now I have my own little mini tack shop, and it's definitely a boutique tack store. It's small, but it's colourful and quirky and I love it. This year I'm mainly focusing on running the shop, but I'm also planning some really cool new product lines for next year. Now, of course, I should also mention Glynis, my wonderful business partner and mother here. Now, when I started Punk Ponies, I didn't want my mother involved, I didn't want any of my family involved, it was just going to be my thing. Glynis became involved after about a year of running the business. I needed someone to help me take the trade stall to markets, and that was initially her only job. And then she started making custom products like tail bags and helmet covers and saddle pads, and now she's a really important part of the business. She comes to all the trade stalls with me and she makes all of our custom made products. She's been a huge help and I'm so grateful for her support. Glynis does have her own job though, as well as her own interests outside of this business. It really is still mainly my thing. So if you're messaging us on Instagram or on Facebook, you'll only be talking to me. And if you come to the shop, 99% of the time I'm the only person that runs the shop. Glynis just comes in to cover me when I have to go to like a doctor's appointment or something like that. She does answer emails though, so if you are wanting to talk to her specifically about custom saddle pads, send us an email, and we both have access to that email account, but Glynis handles all of the custom saddle pad orders, so that way she can talk to you directly and you don't have to talk through me forwarding messages onto her. So that's the story of how I started Punk Ponies. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment down below. And I will catch you next time. Bye!